Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Pastor Richie Halversen here with a very quick dose of hope to help you wind out your week. Friends, you need to know that yesterday's worship will not address today's worries. Yesterday's prayers will not solve today's problems. Every day we need a fresh dose of God's provision. And that's why Jesus instructed us in the Lord's Prayer to pray to God, give us today our daily bread. Not tomorrow, not the next day, not yesterday's bread. We need our daily bread. This phrase, give us today our daily bread, would have immediately drawn the disciples' minds to when God fed Israel in the wilderness with the bread from heaven. Now, God gave very specific directions on how this miracle bread would be provided and how it needed to be collected. Every single day, Israel was to only collect enough bread for the day. All right? God did not give Israel a week's supply and then tell them to come back in a week. No, he fed them daily. And that's because once a week worship will not sustain you. That will not give you the sustenance you need. Friends, we cannot put our prayers in a bank account and then pull on them when we need them. We need to go to God daily. In fact, if Israel collected more than the daily amount, they would wake up the next day and they would find it rotten. Except for on Friday when God says, I want you to collect a double portion on this day because the next day's the Sabbath and no bread's going to fall. And so if you didn't collect that extra portion on Friday, you would go out Sabbath looking to collect and there wouldn't be any. So think about this. Israel had to learn to trust God, not just on the days the manna would fall. They had to learn to trust God on the days the manna wouldn't fall. They had to trust on the days they only collected a day portion that it was enough to get them through the day, and that when they collected the double portion on Friday, that it was enough to get them through Sabbath too. They had to learn to trust in God whether they saw his provision or didn't. You see, God's directions in his process of feeding Israel was very specific and detailed, not because God was being difficult, not because he enjoys making us jump through spiritual hoops. God was driving home our need for daily dependence on him. We need to learn to trust in God always, friends. Knowing that no matter what happens, knowing that no matter how we feel, whether we feel good or bad, we need to seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness. We need to know that whether we see God in our situation, we know that God will provide. Give us today our daily bread. I don't know about you, but I'm going to start praying like my life depends on it, because you see, it does. We need a daily portion of the bread from heaven. We need a fresh dose of God's grace to get us through the day. Matthew 6:33, but seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be added unto you. If you were blessed by this message, make sure you hit like, make sure you share it with your friends and family, and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm going to be posting a sermon in the next few days that is exclusively going to be shared only on the YouTube channel. So if you want to see it, you got to hit subscribe and join us there at my YouTube channel. May God bless.